Hi everyone, how are you all doing? This is How to Read Rhythm 10 Basic Concepts, Lesson 9. And today we're going to concentrate on ties. Ties are a way of making notes last longer by tying them together in places that we normally can't have these notes last that length. So for instance, if I want a minim to last longer, or I wanted to make it last for 3 beats through a bar line, I couldn't put a dot on it. I would have to tie it to a crotchet. So when it looks like this, it means that we play the start of the minim and it lasts for the length of 3 beats into the next bar. That means that we don't play the crotchet at the start of the next bar. That is just the minim carrying on into that bar. In 4/4, if we want a note to go through the middle of a bar, we would have to tie it together like this. We couldn't just have a crotchet put in the middle of the bar like this. It would be occupying that space, which we need to always show in 4/4. Let's have a look at some common types of crotchet tie rhythms. Here's the first one. So we've got 2 crotchets, a minim, which is tied to a crotchet in the next bar, a shush, and a minim. It's quite common to see a note lasting for 3 beats going into the next bar. So let's remember, when we say the minim tied to a crotchet, we're going to say 3 because that's how long it lasts for. I'll count myself in first and then you can try it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta, 3, sh, 2. Let's try that together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta, 3, sh, 2. Let's look at the next one. So this is 3 crotchets, a crotchet tied to another crotchet, and then 3 more crotchets. This is quite common because if you want that middle note to last for 2 beats, you couldn't just write a minim, you'd have to write it like this. I'll try it first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 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 2, ta, ta, ta. And I said 2 for that middle note because that's how long it lasts for. Let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 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 2, ta, ta, ta. Now let's have a look at some common types of quaver tie rhythms. This is the one that we saw before, but let's try saying it together. So for that middle note, we're going to say ta rather than 2 T's, and we're just going to emphasize the first one. I'll do it first. 1, 2, 3, 4. T, 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 ta, T, T, T. Let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. T, 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 ta, T, T, T. Now we can also see this same thing in the middle of a bar as well. If we want a quaver to tie across or last across through a bar line, we have to write it like this, not with a crotchet, but with the 2 quavers tied together, and we emphasize the first one. Let's try this. I'll try it first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta, T, 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 ta, T, 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 ta, ta. Let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta, T, 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 ta, T, 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 ta, ta. Now let's have a look at some common types of semiquaver tie rhythms. Now when we look at these rhythms, there's 2 ways of writing them. One isn't the correct way and one is, and the reason why, you can still see how the bar is grouped up into 4, but the first one, it kind of all blends together and becomes complicated to read. So the reason why we would use ties in this instance is to make it easier to read. So let's look at 2 sets of these. And what we're going to do is, for the quaver tied to the semiquaver, we're going to say tim, because it lasts for 1.5 beats. And that's what we would say for a dotted quaver, which lasts the same amount. So I'll try it first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ti, tim, ka ti, ti, tim, ka ti. Let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ti, tim, kitty, T, Tim, kitty. Let's look at the next one. So again, the first kind of one with the X above is written and it's quite confusing to read it and you can't see how the bar's broken up into chunks of 4. But in the second one, you can see that clear definition between the two kind of cells of rhythms, which is why we've tied it in the middle. So if you look, there's 2 semiquavers tied together. So for this, we're going to say T, because it lasts for a quaver. So this rhythm will just sound like this. T, 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 T. So I'll try it first. 1, 2, 3, 4. T, 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 T. Let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. T, 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 T. There are lots of other ways that you can tie rhythms together. These are just the examples that you can find in 4/4. Similar rules apply to simple time, which is 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, which we saw in the last lesson, and also to compound time, which is 12/8, 6/8, 9/8. The one last thing that I want to talk to you about in today's lesson is multi-rest. Now, multi-rests are a way in music where we can show more than one bar of rest. So for instance, if I had 4 bars rest, I would look at it like this. We wouldn't have them all separately because it means that on a piece of paper we save space, or you can just see how many bars that you've got to count rather than having to look at the music and count each one. You can just see a number value. Now the way that we count these bars rest is we put the number bar at the start of each bar. So for instance, if I was to count the first bar, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if I wanted to count the second bar, I would put the bar number that I was on at the beginning of my counting. So it would look like this. And I would say 2, 2, 3, 4. So just to show you what 4 bars of counting would look like, it would look like this. So you have the 4 like this, and then this is what the numbers would look like. So let's try it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. Should we try counting these 4 bar rests together? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. And any length of multi-rest, that's how you would count it. And it means we're keeping track of which bar we're on, as well as counting each beat. The very last thing we're going to do today is play my piece of music when ties suit you. Don't forget to get your sticks or your practice pads or your hands or your instrument ready to play this. There's also a PDF if you want to print this off in the description, and that'll have other information on the lesson too. Let's try this together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta, 3. Sh, 2. Ta, 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 2. Ta, ta, ta. Ti, 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 ta. Ti, 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 ta. Ta. Ti, ti, ta. Ta, ta. Ti, 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 ta. Ti, 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 ta. Sh. Ti, tim, keti, ti, tim, keti, ta, ta. 2. Ti, 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 ta, ta, ta. Sh. Let's try playing that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta, 3. Sh. 2. Ta, 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 2. Ta, ta, ta. Ti, 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 ta. Ti, 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 ta. Ta. Ti, ti, ta. Ta, ta. Ti, 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 ta. Ti, ti, T, tim, keti, T, tim, keti, ta, ta, two. T, 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 ta, 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 sh. Thank you very much for watching How to Read Rhythm 10 Basic Concepts Lesson 9. Don't forget to go and check out the other videos. Cheers!